1. Opening scene on Station Haven 9, setting the tone. The story begins with a soft hum across Station Haven 9, a peaceful trade outpost floating in the quiet orbit of a blue-ringed gas giant. The station is known for its shared life. Humans walk beside aliens of many shapes, and every corner smells of different cultures, metal, fruit, oils, and warm equipment. In this calm place, a young alien girl named Lyra walks with a small box of decorations in her hands. Lyra belongs to the Orcs species, a gentle people with glowing skin markings and sensitive senses. She looks nervous. Her mind is focused on her mother's birthday tomorrow. For her species, birthdays are rare and emotional, only celebrated once every several years due to their slow aging. She wants to prepare something special. A surprise cake, decorations, and a little song she plans to practice later. But she is not confident working in human areas. Everything looks too metallic and too loud to her. 2. Lyra enters the human storage section. Lyra slowly steps into Storage Bay C-12, a place where humans keep supplies, tools, and food containers. She normally avoids this area because the machines hiss and click in a way that makes her uneasy. Today, however, she must cross it because she wants to borrow human frosting powder for the cake she hopes to bake. The bay is mostly empty except for a few crates, blinking panels, and the faint smell of sweet sugar drifting from somewhere she cannot see. Lyra hesitates, holding her decorations close to her chest, afraid she might break something or trigger a human alarm. 3. The half-eaten cake appears. As she rounds a corner, something on top of a crate catches her eye. A half-eaten cake, sitting on a small metal plate, with a faint glow of stasis gel around it. She freezes instantly, staring at the cake like she found a dangerous creature. Her species is extremely sensitive to decayed or contaminated food. Even one wrong particle can cause sickness for the Orcs. Lyra's thoughts become loud inside her head. What if there is something harmful in the kitchen? What if my mother eats something unsafe tomorrow? Whoa, her hands shake. The decorations nearly slip from her fingers. She looks around as if expecting something to jump out. To her, a half-eaten food item in a public place means something is wrong, something uncontrolled, something unsafe. She tries to step back quietly, but she bumps into a metal container, making a loud ringing noise. 4. The human technician Evan appears. The noise draws the attention of Evan, a young human technician who is repairing a light panel nearby. Evan is used to the station's surprises, but he notices Lyra's frightened expression immediately. He walks toward her calmly and says, "Hey, easy. Are you all right?" His gentle tone makes Lyra feel a little safer, but she still points carefully at the half-eaten cake. She whispers, "Is it safe, human? My mom's birthday is tomorrow." Evan looks at the cake and tries not to laugh. Not because it is funny, but because it is such an innocent problem compared to the usual chaotic issues on the station. He quickly understands something important. Lyra isn't scared for herself, she is terrified something on the station might ruin her mother's celebration. 5. Lyra explains her fear. Evan crouches beside her so he will not look too tall or intimidating. He asks her why the cake scares her. Lyra explains in slow, worried words that her species treats spoiled food as a serious threat. Even a small contamination can cause biological reactions for the Orcs. They have weak immunity to microbial changes. She worries that someone or something on the station might be careless with food safety, and she fears that tomorrow her mother might eat something unsafe during her birthday meal. Lyra's voice trembles as she says, "I wanted to bake a cake, but now I am scared the whole kitchen is unsafe." Evan nods, understanding her fear more deeply now. 6. Evan's decision to help. Instead of brushing off her concern, Evan stands up and looks at the cake seriously. He tells her the cake is not dangerous to humans, but he agrees they should find out what happened. He wants to show her that humans care about safety as much as anyone else. He says, "Let's figure this out. We'll find who ate this and why it's here, and we'll make sure your mom gets a perfect birthday cake." Lyra looks up with big eyes. For her species, a human offering help so quickly feels like a strong cultural gesture of loyalty. She nods shyly, grateful. 7. The closer inspection of the cake. Evan puts on his gloves and studies the cake carefully. He notices that one side is neatly eaten, not torn or bitten randomly. The edges look as though something small carried it. Lyra asks, "So, not human?" Evan hums thoughtfully and says, "Probably not. Humans don't usually eat like this." Lyra watches him work, slowly feeling less afraid. Evan also notices faint wheel marks on the crate, small and thin, like from a maintenance bot. 8. The idea that something took the cake. Evan explains these marks to Lyra. He suggests that maybe a maintenance robot dragged the cake here after someone left it out. Lyra's glow markings brighten slightly, which is the Aureli version of curiosity. "Robots eat food?" she asks. Evan laughs lightly and says, "Not really. But some of them collect items they think are useful." The thought calms Lyra a little, but not enough. She still wants to know where the cake originally came from, and whether the kitchen has been disturbed. 9. They decide to investigate the station. Evan offers his hand politely to guide her through the human section, but Lyra chooses to walk beside him instead, trying to appear brave. They decide to visit the places where workers last saw food items or strange activity. Evan uses his handheld device to pull up small station reports. According to the logs, there was a tiny movement detected in the kitchen area earlier, too small to be a human. Lyra realizes this might be connected to the half-eaten cake. She clutches her decoration box and says softly, "If something is moving food, then my plan for the birthday might fail." Evan replies, "Not on my watch." 10. First stop questioning a human engineer. They walk to the engineering hallway where a human worker named Marcy is fixing a pipe. Evan asks her casually if she saw anything strange in the kitchen earlier. Marcy says she did smell something sweet by the vents an hour ago, almost like cake. She assumed someone was baking. This makes Lyra's worry rise again. The scent means the cake's journey started near the kitchen. Evan thanks Marcy and assures Lyra that this is a helpful clue. 11. Second stop, the janitor's observation. They visit Deno, a janitor who cleans the docking bay nearby. Dino mentions seeing crumbs on the floor near the large air vents, but he did not know what kind of crumbs they were. Evan asks if the crumbs were white and fluffy. Dino snaps his fingers and says, "Yes, looked like cake crumbs." Lyra gasps softly. Evan smiles at her and says, "We're getting closer." Deno points toward a narrow corridor that leads to a security camera blind spot. 12. Lyra's increasing anxiety, and Evan calms her. As they walk, Lyra's markings dim again, a sign of fear or stress. She worries that maybe someone intentionally moved the cake. She imagines dangerous contamination spreading. Evan notices her breathing getting fast. He stops and gently says, "Lyra, humans stay calm in chaos, because we know every problem has a solution. And this one does too." She nods slowly, appreciating the reassurance. 13. Third, stop alien traders whisper rumors. They enter the trade corridor, where several alien merchants talk among themselves. Evan asks them about anything strange involving food. One of the merchants laughs and says they heard a rumor. "There is a cake thief on the station." Lyra's eyes widen again. The merchants explain they thought it was a joke because someone said the thief was very small and very confused. Evan thanks them and walks away with Lyra, who now realizes the situation might not be dangerous, just mysterious. 14. The key evidence security camera footage. Evan brings Lyra to a small console near a security door. He accesses old camera recordings from earlier that day. They watch together as the footage loads grainy images of the kitchen. Suddenly something tiny appears on the screen. A small maintenance robot, wobbling on one weak wheel, dragging a cake plate. Lyra gasps. Evan grins and says, "Found our thief." The robot looks old and outdated, almost ignored by the rest of the crew. Its movements are clumsy, but purposeful. It drags the cake down a hallway and disappears into a blind corner where cameras cannot see. Lyra tilts her head and whispers, "Why would it take a cake?" Evan replies, "We're going to find out." 15. End of part 1. The search truly begins. Lyra feels a mix of relief and confusion. The danger seems less, but the mystery feels bigger. Evan turns to her and says, "Tomorrow is your mom's birthday. We still have time to fix everything. Let's go find that robot." Lyra nods firmly, her confidence returning little by little. Together, they walk into the dim hallway where the robot vanished, ready to uncover the truth. End of part 1. Outline. Evan and Lyra step into the quiet corridor, where the little maintenance robot disappeared. The hallway lights flicker softly, giving the path a strange, almost secret feeling. Lyra stays close to Evan, not because she is scared of him, but because the place feels unfamiliar. Evan keeps checking his handheld device to track faint motion signals. The signals show tiny movements exactly the size of the robot they saw in the footage. Lyra whispers, "Is it still carrying the cake?" Evan answers, "Maybe. Or maybe it dropped it somewhere. We'll know soon." 2. First clue: crumbs on the floor. As they walk, Evan spots something near the wall. Little white crumbs. He kneels and touches them with one gloved finger. "Cake crumbs," he says, confirming Lyra's fear and excitement. Lyra crouches beside him, studying the crumbs closely with her bright Orelli eyes. She notices something strange. The crumbs are not smashed or messy. They are placed one after another in a tiny trail, almost like the robot dropped them evenly. "It moves in a very careful way," she says softly. Evan nods and replies, "Some older robots have strange habits. They follow old programs that no one updates." 3. They follow the crumb trail. The trail leads them deeper into an unused storage zone. Pipes line the walls, and the air smells faintly of dust and metal. Lyra asks quietly, "Why would a robot want a cake?" Evan explains that some old bots collect items they think are important or emotional because of outdated programming from previous missions. Lyra finds this idea touching. "So it thought the cake had meaning?" Evan smiles gently. "Maybe. Let's see what it wants to do with it." 4. Strange noises ahead. As they walk further, they hear a soft sound like tiny wheels clicking against metal. Lyra instantly freezes, her markings dimming in worry. Evan places a calming hand in the air, signaling her to stay relaxed. "It's okay," he says. "Robots don't harm anyone. They just follow programs." The sound disappears into a small doorway on the left. Evan and Lyra exchange a look of curiosity and carefully move toward the door. 5. Doors to an old storage room. The door slides open with a slow hiss, revealing an old storage room that hasn't been used in a long time. Dust floats in the air. Small lights flicker. Lyra steps inside cautiously. Evan activates a portable lamp to brighten the dark corners. What they see surprises both of them. 6. The robot's nest, a collection of emotional items. In the center of the room sits the little maintenance robot, wobbling slightly from its weak wheel. Around it is a small nest of collected items. Soft cleaning cloths folded neatly, colorful ribbons from old celebrations, a small rag toy left behind by a trader's child, a cracked mug with hand-painted stars, the half-eaten cake, placed carefully in the middle like a treasure. Lyra stares, amazed. "It protects these things," she whispers. Evan nods slowly. "Looks like it collects items that people cared about." 7. The robot notices them. The robot turns its little camera eye toward them. Its wheels squeak as it adjusts its position, as if it feels embarrassed for being seen. Lyra steps forward gently, lowering herself to its level so it won't feel threatened. The robot emits a soft beep, not defensive, but curious. Evan smiles and says softly, "Hello there, little guy. We just want to know why you took the cake." 8. The robot projects its log message. The robot's front panel flickers, then projects a small hologram. The message reads, "Unit 7K, collecting emotional items for station morale preservation." Lyra's markings glow softly. She understands now. The robot wasn't stealing. It was trying to save things that looked meaningful. Evan explains, "Old program. It thinks anything that looks like it matters to someone should be stored safely." The robot then displays a soft humming sound, as if asking if it did something wrong. 9. Lyra responds with kindness. Lyra reaches out a gentle hand near the robot, not touching it but letting it sense her calm energy. She says, "It's okay. You didn't do anything bad. You were helping." The robot's light blinks slowly, almost like it understands. Evan sees how naturally Lyra communicates with it and feels impressed. 10. Evan examines the robot's damage. Evan notices that one of the robot's wheels is bent. Its memory core looks unstable, blinking with interruptions. Evan kneels beside it and says, "Let me fix you." Using a small toolkit, he gently realigns the wheel and stabilizes a loose connection. Lyra watches the repair process with quiet admiration. She whispers, "Humans really do fix everything." Evan laughs softly. We try our best. 11. The robot shows a hidden recording. After Evan repairs the robot, its screen flickers again. It plays a soft audio recording. A gentle, melodic voice singing an Aureli song. Lyra gasps. The robot projects text. Emotional item stored. Song of Aureli Family Unit. Recorded 2 years ago. Tears fill Lyra's eyes. She recognizes the voice her mother, singing a lullaby she had forgotten. The robot had kept it safe all this time. Evan watches Lyra silently, giving her space to feel the moment. 12. Lyra's emotional moment. Lyra kneels beside the robot, touched more than she expected. I didn't even know this recording still existed, she says with a trembling voice. She thanks the robot in Aureli language, soft musical tones. The robot beeps warmly in return. Evan feels relief and happiness for Lyra, knowing the robot gave her something priceless. 13. The question of the cake. Lyra wipes her eyes gently and looks around. She sees the cake sitting in the middle of the robot's little collection. It kept the cake safe, too, she says with a soft laugh. Evan nods. Yes, but we need to check if it came from somewhere important. They both realize the cake wasn't ruined, it was simply misunderstood. 14. Lyra regains confidence. Lyra now feels braver than before. She realizes the station is not unsafe. It is simply full of unexpected stories. She tells Evan she is no longer afraid of the cake, but she still needs a real cake for her mother's birthday tomorrow. Evan smiles and says, then we'll make one with help. 15. Preparing to leave the storage room, Evan picks up the half-eaten cake carefully. Lyra gathers a few safe decoration pieces from her box. The robot beeps and follows them to the door, as if wanting to stay near them. Evan pats its head gently. You did good, he tells the robot. Lyra adds, thank you for keeping memories safe. 16. A new plan begins. As they walk out, Evan tells Lyra they should gather supplies and ask the kitchen staff for help. Lyra brightens at this idea. She says, we can make a better cake. One that belongs to everyone. Evan loves the spirit of that. He turns to her and says, let's make your mom the best cake this station has ever seen. 17. The robot follows them like a loyal pet. As they walk through the corridor, the little robot rolls behind them slowly, making tiny squeaking sounds. Lyra giggles and says, I think it wants to help. Evan replies, then let's give it a job. The robot beeps excitedly. 18. Transition to the kitchen. Part 2. Ending. They step out of the dim corridor into the brighter parts of the station again. The mystery is solved, but a new mission begins. Making the perfect birthday cake. Lyra looks hopeful and energized. Evan looks determined and ready. The robot rolls behind them proudly. Part 2 ends with the three of them walking toward the kitchen area, united by a strange but heartwarming adventure. End of Part 2. Outline. Evan, Lyra, and the small maintenance robot move into the brighter section of Station Haven 9. The kitchen block is busy as usual. Humans are preparing meals, alien cooks are mixing strange, colorful foods, and machines hum loudly. Lyra feels nervous again because the human kitchen is full of strong smells and fast movements. But Evan places a steady hand near her shoulder, not touching, just offering silent support. Lyra breathes carefully and steps inside. 2. Humans. Notice Lyra's unease. A human cook named Jenna sees Lyra looking uncertain. Jenna smiles kindly and says, don't worry, sweetheart. We won't drop anything explosive today. Lyra blinks at the joke, not fully understanding. But Evan laughs and explains humans use humor to calm nerves. The kitchen staff gather around Evan and ask why he brought a young Aureli girl and a tiny robot with a wobbly wheel. Evan explains the situation. The robot took a cake. It meant no harm. Lyra wants to make a safe birthday cake for her mother. The kitchen staff respond warmly. Humans love birthdays, and they want to help. 3. Lyra shares her plan. Evan kneels beside Lyra so everyone listens at her level. Lyra shyly explains that her mother's birthday is tomorrow and she wants to surprise her with a special cake. She adds softly, my mother likes gentle flavors. Nothing too strong. Nothing too spicy. Something soft and warm. Jenna taps her chin thoughtfully and says, they can make a human Aureli fusion cake. Lyra's markings brighten. She loves the idea of combining cultures. 4. Gathering ingredients, a team effort. Evan makes a list of items they need. Humans bring flour, sugar, frosting powder, heat coils. An alien cook brings Orelli fruit paste, color glow spices that are safe for both species. The small robot beeps and carries napkins and wooden spoons, clearly wanting to help more. Evan laughs and says, "You're officially part of the cake crew now." Lyra giggles softly. 5. The first problem: equipment malfunction. Just as they prepare to start mixing ingredients, one of the main mixers suddenly stops working. Sparks fly, then the machine powers down entirely. The kitchen becomes quiet. Evan groans and says, "Of course this happens today." Lyra looks anxious again and whispers, "Can we still make the cake?" Jenna waves her hand and says, "Humans always find a workaround." Evan grabs a toolbox and starts checking wires. 6. The robot tries to help with repairs. The small maintenance robot rolls forward and shines a tiny light from its front panel to help Evan see better. Evan smiles warmly at the robot. "Thank you, little buddy." The robot emits a proud beep, but as Evan tries to fix the mixer, he realizes it will take too long. They cannot wait. Lyra's mother's birthday is only hours away. Evan decides they must mix ingredients manually. 7. Humans show Lyra how to mix batter by hand. Jenna grabs a big bowl and wooden spoon. She says, "This is how humans made cakes long before machines." Lyra watches closely, fascinated. Her species rarely mixes food by hand. Most Orelli cooking uses slow thermal containers. Jenna shows her how to fold the batter gently, then lets Lyra try. Lyra stirs carefully, her movements slow and graceful. The robot watches, recording everything as if storing more emotional items. 8. A sweet accident. Lyra learns a new skill. As Lyra mixes, she accidentally adds too much fruit paste. The batter turns bright purple. Lyra gasps and apologizes, but Jenna tastes it and smiles. "Actually, this is perfect. It's soft and sweet." Lyra relaxes. Discovering mistakes can create something new. Evan tells her, "That's the human way. Many good things are accidents." 9. Evan teaches Lyra about human heat coils. As the batter gets ready, Evan shows Lyra how humans bake using heat coils that warm the surface evenly. He warns her not to touch them, as they get very hot. Lyra listens carefully, fascinated by human technology. She adjusts a dial gently, following Evan's instructions. The robot beeps softly, trying to mimic Evan's gestures. 10. The second problem: power fluctuation. Just when they pour the batter into a cake tray, the lights flicker again. A small power fluctuation shakes the kitchen. Lyra panics. What if the oven stops working? What if the cake doesn't bake? Jeffrent. What if the cake doesn't bake? Evan remains calm and says, "If the oven stops, we will bake it another way." Humans around him nod, believing firmly in improvisation. The robot stands by the oven, as if guarding it. 11. The oven nearly fails. Humans act fast. As the cake begins baking, the heating cord drops temperature suddenly. Lyra senses it first. Her species can feel small changes in heat. "Evan, it is getting colder." Evan quickly opens the maintenance panel. He discovers a loose wire that is causing unstable heating, but the oven must stay closed to keep the cake safe. He thinks quickly and grabs a portable heating pad. He attaches it under the oven to provide backup warmth. The kitchen staff helps stabilize the panel with clamps. Lyra watches in awe. "Humans really fix everything," she whispers again. 12. Lyra practices her birthday message. While the cake bakes, Jenna gives Lyra a moment to rest. Lyra holds a small ribbon she brought for her mother. She practices a short birthday message in her soft voice. "Mother, thank you for your kindness. This cake is to show my love." Evan overhears and smiles. "She will love it," he says. The robot records her message, saving it as another emotional item. 13. The cake finally finishes baking. A warm, sweet smell fills the kitchen. The oven's internal light glows, showing a perfect, fluffy purple cake. Lyra's markings brighten, fully a sign of joy. Evan removes the cake carefully using thermal gloves. He places it on a cooling tray. Jenna says, "Now we decorate." 14. Decorating the cake, a moment of art. Humans bring frosting tubes. Alien cooks bring safe glow powders that shimmer softly. Lyra designs a simple pattern, a glowing circle for unity, and small fruit shapes for Orelli tradition. Evan helps her smooth the frosting. The robot brings tiny decorative beads, placing them beside Lyra like a helpful assistant. Together, they create a gentle, beautiful cake that represents both species. 15. Lyra's final touch. Lyra takes out her small ribbon, the same one she practiced her message with earlier. She ties it around the cake's edge carefully. Her hands tremble not with fear, but with deep emotion. "This is for my mother," she whispers. The robot beeps softly, as if approving. 16. Trouble returns, a sudden announcement. Just when everything seems perfect, an announcement echoes across the kitchen. "Attention! Minor cooling failure in several decks. Some areas may lose temperature control temporarily." Lyra gasps. Orelli species react badly to sudden temperature drops. Evan immediately checks the map. Lyra's family quarters are located in one of the affected decks. If the temperature drops too much, her mother might not feel well for the birthday celebration. Lyra panics. "We must go. I need to check on her." 17. Evan makes a quick plan. Evan grabs a portable heating blanket and tells Lyra they will bring it to her mother's room. He instructs the kitchen staff to keep the cake safe. The robot insists on coming too. It beeps and rolls forward bravely. Jenna says, "Go. We'll guard the cake like it's gold." 18. Heading toward Lyra's home. Part 3. Ending. Evan and Lyra run through the corridors, the robot rolling behind them. Lyra clutches the ribbon end tightly, fear returning but courage growing too. Evan says, "We'll fix this. Just like everything else today." Lyra nods, trusting him completely. Part 3 ends as they approach the Orelli living quarters, unsure of what they will find but ready to face it together. End of Part 3 outline. 1. Rushing through the station corridor. Evan, Lyra, and the small maintenance robot hurry through the long silver corridors of Station Haven 9. The emergency lighting flashes softly, warning everyone about the temporary temperature drop on certain decks. Lyra walks fast, her hands tightening around the portable heating blanket Evan gave her, her markings dim with fear. Orelli bodies react quickly to cold, and she worries her mother might already feel unwell. Evan keeps close beside her, matching her speed. "We'll reach her in time," he says calmly. The robot follows behind with small, urgent beeps, determined to help. 2. Entering the Orelli living quarters. The door to the Orelli residential deck opens with a soft hiss. A gentle blue glow shines from the walls. Orelli habitats always use soft lighting to keep their species calm. But today, the air feels slightly colder. Lyra shivers. She leads Evan through winding hallways filled with musical wind chimes and woven art pieces her species loves. The robot rolls carefully, trying not to knock anything over. 3. Finding Lyra's mother. They reach Lyra's home, a round-shaped door with glowing patterns. Lyra presses her hand on the sensor, and the door opens slowly. Inside, her mother sits wrapped in a soft blanket. She looks surprised to see Evan and the robot, but she smiles warmly when she sees Lyra. "My little star," she says softly. Lyra almost cries in relief and rushes to her. Evan gently places the heating blanket over the Orelli mother to keep her warm. The robot emits a gentle, soothing hum. 4. Lyra explains everything. Lyra tells her mother about the half-eaten cake, the robot thief, the kitchen adventure, and how humans helped her make a special cake. Her mother listens carefully, smiling at every detail. She places a hand on Lyra's cheek and says, "You have worked so hard for me today." Evan stands quietly, giving them space but feeling touched by the moment. 5. The robot's unexpected behavior. As they talk, the little robot slowly rolls forward. It opens a small panel on its body and projects the recording of the Orelli song it stored years ago. The room fills with the gentle melody of Lyra's mother singing long ago. Lyra and her mother freeze in surprise. The mother covers her mouth as tears form in her glowing eyes. "I thought this song was lost," she whispers. The robot's light blinks softly, almost like a proud smile. 6. Emotional connection between species. Evan steps closer and says, "It saved the song. It thought it was important." Lyra's mother nods, deeply touched. She looks at the robot with gratitude. "Thank you, small guardian," she says in her gentle Orelli tone. The robot beeps happily and stores the phrase as another emotional sound. 7. The deck temperature starts stabilizing. A new station announcement plays. Cooling problem resolved. Temperatures returning to normal. Lyra sighs in relief. Evan checks the heating blanket and confirms her mother is now completely safe. The crisis is over just in time for the birthday celebration. 8. Gathering everyone for the surprise. Lyra guides Evan and the robot back to the kitchen to retrieve the special cake. Jenna and the other cooks smile when they see Lyra's glowing face. The cake is decorated beautifully with frosting, fruit shapes, shimmering powder, and the ribbon Lyra tied around it. Jenna says, "Go make her birthday perfect." Evan lifts the cake carefully. Lyra carries a small light orb that will be used for their Aureli birthday tradition. The robot rolls beside them like a proud assistant. 9. Preparing the room for the celebration. They return to Lyra's home. Lyra decorates the room with her box of handmade items, soft banners, glowing strands, and small crystal charms. Evan helps by hanging decorations higher on the walls. The robot organizes the table, placing cups and napkins neatly. Lyra positions the cake at the center of a low table, just the way Aureli traditions require. The room looks warm, colorful, and full of love. 10. The Aureli birthday tradition begins. Lyra asks her mother to sit comfortably. She then dims the lights and holds the light orb gently in her hands. In Aureli tradition, the child offers 3 warm wishes to the parent. Wish for health, wish for peaceful thoughts, wish for shared happiness. Lyra speaks each wish softly, her voice trembling with emotion. Evan watches silently, moved by the beauty of the moment. The robot records everything, preserving the memory. 11. Presenting the cake. Evan brings the cake forward, and Jenna's shimmering powder glows beautifully in the dim light. Lyra's mother gasps in delight. "I have never seen such a cake," she says softly. Lyra proudly explains how humans helped create it. "It is a cake of 2 worlds," she says. Evan smiles at her creative description. 12. The taste test, a heartwarming result. Lyra cuts a small piece and gives it to her mother. Her mother tastes it slowly, letting the gentle sweetness flow across her senses. Her glowing markings brighten fully. "It is perfect," she says. Lyra's heart fills with joy. Evan feels relieved and proud. The robot beeps, as if saying, "Mission accomplished." 13. Lyra's mother thanks the humans. Lyra's mother looks at Evan and says, "Thank you for helping my daughter. You cared as if she was one of your own." Evan shakes his head gently. "We humans help because we care. We fix things. We make things better. That's who we are." Lyra smiles at the words, remembering her earlier thought. Humans really do fix everything. 14. A small party begins. Lyra serves cake slices to Evan and the robot. The robot only pretends to eat for fun. They chat softly, sharing laughs. The Aureli mother sings a gentle, short song of gratitude. The robot records it immediately, storing it with the earlier song. Evan tells Lyra that this memory will stay safe forever now. Lyra gently touches the robot's head with affection. 15. Unexpected visitors, the kitchen staff arrive. Suddenly, the door chime rings. Jenna and 2 cooks enter quietly with small gifts, fruits, a soft blanket, and a handmade star decoration. "We heard it was a special birthday," Jenna says. Lyra's mother is touched beyond words. Humans and Aureli have shared birthdays before, but this one feels deeper, more meaningful. 16. The robot gives its own gift. Everyone becomes quiet as the robot rolls forward again. It opens a side compartment and projects a new recording. Lyra practicing her birthday message earlier in the kitchen. Her mother listens to the message, emotional tears returning. "Thank you, my child," she whispers. Lyra hugs her gently. Evan watches with a warm heart. 17. The HFY moment, humans unite the station. As the celebration continues, more humans and aliens walk by and join, bringing small treats and decorations. The room fills with mixed species, laughter, warm words, and glowing lights. Evan stands back for a moment, looking at the scene. A simple half-eaten cake started all this, and now 2 species share a joyful moment of unity. This is HFY at its core. Humans turn mistakes into miracles. They fix problems, protect the weak, and bring people together. 18. Final scene, a memory that will last. As the celebration slows, Lyra sits beside her mother and leans her head gently on her shoulder. Evan and the robot stand near the doorway, ready to leave quietly. But Lyra's mother stops them and says, You are part of this memory now. Stay with us. Evan smiles softly and nods. The robot beeps with happiness. Lyra looks around the room. The decorations, the glowing cake, the warm faces, and the little robot who kept everything safe. She whispers, "Today was perfect. The end HFY style. Emotional, clean, and heartwarming."